Well, hello and how are you? Hey, friends, welcome to the Shen Show. I am your host, Shen Bill Briscoe, coming to you live right here in St. Charles, Missouri. Hey, today's Wednesday, January the 11th, 2023. Got some happy birthday shout outs going out to Cheri Meyer uh, Rugraff and Benjamin Jones. Also, Brian French and Marty Grant. So, without further ado, here is a birthday song for the three of you, or four of you, I guess that is, isn't it? Hey, there's a friend. Howdy, friend. Glad you tuned in today, and you're out. All right, here we go. How about it? We're going to go Brian, Benjamin, uh, Cheri. Hey, I heard it's birthday today. So, happy birthday. I'm saying, you know, you 1 more year older today, so happy birthday to you, I say. Said, hey, Sherry. Hey, Benjamin. Hey, Brian. Hey, Marty. Hey, I heard it's birthday today. Wow, that's another trip around the sun that you made. I hope you're enjoying your special day because, well, it's your happy birthday day today. Day today. All right, all right, all right. Yeah, that was Marty, Brian, Benjamin, and Sherry. I'm glad y'all got your birthday shout outs for today. Um, what else we got going on? We're not going to do a whole list of folks because, well, we're running behind time. We got a bad start for the day. Uh, things didn't show up right, didn't work out right, and it is a tough one. Today's a rough day for me. So we're just gonna have to wing it, fly by the seat of the pants. Um, you know what? Let me see if I can find a decent song to describe the day. Um, song Loomis Bear on Me. Song lyrics: Loomis Bear on Me. Song lyrics: Loomis Bear on Me. Song lyrics: Loomis Bear the Misery on Me. Song lyrics: Loomis Bear the Misery on Me. Song lyrics: Loomis Spare the Misery on Me. Song lyrics: Loomis Spare the Misery on Me. Spare. Song lyrics: If it wasn't for bad luck, I wouldn't have no luck at all. Wait a minute, Jimmy. Look over here. Listen as Loomis Spare misery on me. If it weren't for bad luck, I'd have no luck at all. So spare the misery on me. Deep, dark depression, excessive misery. Spare the misery on me. Oh, wait a minute. Jimmy the Kid, just so listen to me. As I was walking up this morning, oh Lord, you know I felt pretty good. Yes, I did. I began to stretch and yawn. Why, wait with Bray. just to see if I can dig it all at once. I got a funny feeling that something around here was going on wrong. Hmm. So you know what I did? What did I do? I just began to look all around for my baby. Wasn't that it? That's not. I have no clue. Song's not right. Nothing's going right. So piss poor day, folks. It's a piss poor day. Father, I just ask that you give me renewal, that my life turns back around. Get back in your good graces. My head's protected, and that things just start going right again. All right. Sorry, folks. Having a rough day. Rough day, rough week, rough month. I was shed short today. Shed short. Um, bowels weren't functioning again properly. Uh, and then they did. Um, finally. But as far as getting bath, I'll be doing that tomorrow. I'm no longer going to get my range of motion because one day I will be going to the bowel routine. Next day I will be taking a bath. That's all there is to it. That's all that's going to be able to occur from now on. One day bowel routine, next day bath, because there's just no time to get them both done in one day. So that's all there is to it. And that's the way it's going to have to go for the rest of my time. I don't know. I do not know what's going to happen. Got to go through the state, got to get some stuff straightened out, but the state ain't allowing it, folks. Pray with me, folks, so that my agenda can get straightened out, so that everything can go back out. I'm going to have to put the feelers out for another aide caregiver, uh, just because that's just the way it's going to have to work. Uh, like I said, I'm going to have another roommate. Uh, we got balked again. It just happens. I don't know. Whoever my roommate is, I'm uh, hoping they're a natural caregiver and that they have natural compassion to be able to fulfill whatever needs to be done. Not only, you know, what's being done, but what needs to be done. If there's some sort of a situation that occurs during the morning time when things don't go right, that they'll just jump in and um, fulfill what needs to be done in the morning also. Not that, I mean, like I said, I like to have my caregivers have another job outside of the home so they don't get dead tired of me. But if uh, if the event occurs that it needs to be taken care of in the morning, then let them do it. Let them have the compassion to do it. That's all I'm saying. All right. Um, here we go. Okay, kids. Hey, it's TV Grandpa. Jump up on the couch. Jump up on the bed. Wherever it is you rest your sleepy little head. Because TV Grandpa's TV Grandpa is going to read you a story so that you can relax and head for bed. Maybe we'll just all lay down together. We'll all just go to sleep. Okay, here we go. The Tale of Peter Rabbit. Are you ready? Okay, here we go. Once upon a time, there lived four little rabbits, and their names were Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail, and Peter. They lived with their mother in a sandbank underneath the root of a very big tree. Now, my dears, said Mrs. Rabbit one morning, you may go into the fields or down by the lane, but do not go into Mr. Gregor's garden, for your father had an incident there. He was put in a pie by Mrs. McGregor. Now, run along and don't get into any mischief. I'm going out. Well, then, Mrs. Rabbit took a basket and her umbrella to the baker's, and she bought a loaf of brown bread and five carrot, keratin buns. Now, Flopsy, Mopsy, and Cottontail, who were good little bunnies, went down the lane to gather blackberries. But oh, not so much as Peter. That's right. Peter, who was a naughty bunny, ran straight away to Mr. McGregor's garden and squeezed under the gate. First, he ate some lettuce and then some French beans, and then he ate some radishes. And then, feeling rather sick, he went to look for some parsley. But around the end of the cucumber uh, frame, whom should he meet but Mr. McGregor? Well, Mr. McGregor was on his hands and knees planting out young cabbages, but he jumped up and he ran after Peter, waving a rake and calling out, "Stop, thief!" Well, Peter was most dreadfully frightened, and he rushed all over the garden, for he had forgotten the way back to the gate. He lost one of his shoes among the cabbages, and the other one amongst the potatoes. After losing them, he ran on four legs and went much faster. And I that I I think he might have gotten away altogether if he had not unfortunately ran into a gooseberry net and got caught by the large buttons on his jacket. It was a blue jacket with brass buttons, quite new, as a matter of fact. Well, Peter uh, gave himself up for lost and shed big tears, but his sobs were overheard by some friendly sparrows who flew to him in great excitement, and they explored him to exert himself. And Peter Rabbit. Uh, then Mr. McGregor came up with a sieve, which he intended to pop upon the top of Peter. But Peter wriggled and jiggled, and he just in time, leaving his jacket behind him. And he rushed into the tool shed, and he jumped into a can. Well, it would have been a beautiful hiding spot, except for the fact that it was full of water. And then Mr. McGregor was quite sure that Peter was somewhere in the tool shed, so perhaps hidden underneath a flower pot. Well, he began turning them over carefully, looking under each. Presently, Peter sneezed, Choo-choo! Mr. McGregor was after him in no time and tried to put his foot upon Peter, who jumped out a window, upsetting the three plants. While the window was too small for Mr. McGregor and he was tired of running after Peter, he went back to his work. Now, Peter sat down to rest, and he was out of breath and trembling with fright, and had not the least idea which way to go. Also, he was very damp with the sitting in that wet can. Well, after a time, he began to wander about, going lippity lippity, and not very fast, and looking all around. He found a door in a wall, but it was blocked, and there was no room for a little fat rabbit uh, to squeeze underneath. And old Mouse was running in and out over the stone doorstep, carrying peas and beans to her family in the wood. Well, Peter asked her the way to the gate, but she had nothing to say. Now her mouth, go to sleep. Her mouth that she had her some too much peas in her mouth, and that she could not answer. She only shook her head at him, and Peter began to cry. Then tried to find his way straight across the garden, but he became more and more puzzled. Presently he came to a pond where Mr. McGregor filled his water cans. A white cat was sitting at staring at some goldfish, and she sat very, very still, and now and then dipped the tip of her tail into the water, which made the fish believe it was something live. Peter thought it best to go away without speaking to her. He had heard about cats from his cousin, little Benjamin Bunny. Now he went back towards the tool shed, but suddenly, quite close to him, he heard the noise of a hoe scratch, 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 scratch on the surface of the dirt. Well, Peter scuttled underneath the bushes, but presently, as nothing had happened, he came out and climbed upon a wheelbarrow and peeped over. The first thing he saw was Mr. McGregor hoeing onions. He backed His back was turned toward Peter, and beyond him was the gate. Well, Peter got very quietly off the wheelbarrow, and he started running as fast as he could go along a straight walk behind some black uh, bushes. Now, Mr. McGregor caught a sight of him at the corner, but Peter did not care. He slipped underneath the gate and was safe at last, and in the woods outside the garden. Mr. McGregor hung up the little jacket and the shoes for a scarecrow to frighten the blackbirds. Peter never stopped running to look behind him for himself because he had to get home, and he did get home to the big fir tree. Now he was so tired that when he flopped down upon nice soft sand on the floor of the rabbit hole and shut his eyes. His mother was very busy cooking, and she wondered what had been, he had done with his clothes. It was the second little jacket and pair of shoes that Peter had lost in a fortnight. That's 2 weeks to you and me. 14 days. I'm so sorry to say that Peter was not very well during the evening, and his mother put him to bed and made some chamomile tea, and she gave a dose of it to Peter, 1 tablespoon to be taken at bedtime. But Flopsy Mopsy and Cottontail had bread and milk and blackberries for supper. Poor Peter just didn't do what he was supposed to do. And that is the end. And that was story time with TV Grandpa. Hey, Mama Kim. Hi, Mom. Hi, hon. Hello, Mama Kim. How are you today? Glad to see you dropped in. Uh, what? I don't know what's going on over there. Wake up. Hello, Mama Kim. Cut that. Paste that. Select Jim. Scratch that. Scratch that. Kim. Press enter. Go to sleep. What? Hello, Mama Kim. Wake up. Hello, Mama Kim. Cut line. Paste that. Correct him. Scratch that. Scratch that. Kim. 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 Scratch that. Scratch that. Kim. All right, forget it. Kim, I'm sorry. It keeps saying Jim. Go to sleep. So, anyway. Well, thanks. I'm glad you enjoyed the story. It's TV time, or actually, it's Bible time. It's daily bread time. Yep, that's right. The daily bread portion of the program. And the daily bread portion of the program is going to be brought to you today by the Bible with Briscoe 2022. 2023, that is. The Bible with Briscoe 2023, which is a daily reading of the Bible to be completed within 1 year. Today's reading in the Bible with Briscoe 2023 will be Genesis 27 through 28 and Matthew 8:18 through 36. So don't forget to tune into the Bible with Briscoe 2023 for your daily reading of the Bible. Out of the lion's den. Hey, there we go. There's where you're going. Get your good time story from the Bible. Today's scriptures and insights will be Daniel 6:10 through 23. Now go figure. If you're coming out of the lion's den, why in the world would you want to hear of the story of Daniel? Well, of course you want to hear the story of Daniel because that's who was in the lion's den. That's right. Daniel in the lion's den. All right, anyway, Daniel 6:10 through 23. Now, when Daniel learned that the decree had been published, he went home to his upstairs room where the windows opened toward Jerusalem. 3 times a day he got down on his hands and knees and he prayed, giving thanks to his God just as he had done before. Then these men went as a group and they found Daniel praying and asked God asking God for help. And so they went to the king and they spoke to him about his royal decree. Did you not publish a decree that during the next 30 days, anyone who prays to any god or human being except for you, your majesty, would be thrown into the lion's den? The king answered, the decree stands in accordance with the law of the Medes and Persians, which cannot be repealed. Well, then they said to the king, Daniel, who is one of the exiles from Judea, pays no attention to you, your majesty, or to the decree you put in writing. He still prays 3 times a day, while when the king heard this, he was greatly distressed. He was determined to rescue Daniel and made every effort until sundown to save him. Then the men went as a group to King Darius, and they said to him, remember, your majesty, that according to the law of the Medes and Persians, no decree or edict that the king has issued can be changed. So the king gave the order, and they robbed Daniel, and they threw him into the lion's den. The king said to Daniel, may your God, whom you serve continually, rescue you. A stone was brought, and it was placed over the mouth of the den, and the king sealed it with his signet ring, and with the rings of his nobles, so that Daniel's situation might not be changed. Then the king returned to his palace and spent the night without eating and without any entertainment, because of being brought to him, and he could not sleep. At the first light of day, the king got up and he hurried to the lion's den. And when he had came near, he began shouting and calling, Daniel, in an anguished voice. And servant, uh, Daniel, servant of the living God, has your gods, whom you continually serve, been able to rescue you from the lions? And Daniel answered, may the king live forever. Yes, my God sent his angels, and he shut the mouth of the lions. They have not hurt me, because I was found innocent in his sight, nor have I ever done any wrong before you, your majesty. For the king was overjoyed and gave orders to lift Daniel out of the den. And when Daniel was lifted from the den, no wounds were found upon him, because he had trusted in God. And that, go to sleep. And that was Out of the Lion's Den, Daniel 6:10 through 23. And that was brought to you today by the Bible with Briscoe 2023. The Bible with Briscoe 2023 is the daily reading of the Bible to be completed within 1 year. Don't forget to tune in to the Bible with Briscoe 2023 for your daily reading of the Bible. Alrighty, my friends. Hey, I hope you enjoyed that story also. We're going to go ahead and jump on out of here as far as y'all know. So I got one real song for you. Well, goodbye, my friends. It's time to go. I said goodbye, my friends. It's a time to go. I hate to leave you, but I really must go. So goodbye, my friends. Goodbye. Goodbye, my friends. Goodbye. This here has been Shen Briscoe. Hoping you had a better day than I did, because, well, we all have them. And I just so happen to have mine today. All right. Hey, God bless you. God loves you. We'll see you all tomorrow. Come on back. See me again. I'm here daily. No matter what the circumstances, I try to make it five alive at five. So that's it. That's all. God bless you. And come